What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. Now normally I would have some Yu-Gi-Oh news to talk to you guys about, which could be like, could be new cards or something like that. This time I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for today's video because I'm going to be revealing the full set list for Ghost from the Past, the second haunting, and give you guys my take on it, whether or not it's actually worth getting, if you will. So not only do I have Wikipedia on here, I also have Nexus as well, simply because it'll just take forever for me to click on each individual card and go back and all that. So it'll make things easier for me anyway. But as of now, we do have approximately 100. We have 183 cards. There are still 2 slots remaining. I'm assuming they might be the 2 that were. I'm assuming that they might be. Might be what I'm thinking of, but we will see. But anyway, for this video, I'm going to talk about the new cards, the brand new cards that are going to be in this set. Talk about their effects, even though I had already done that in the past. I figured, you know what? Why not remind you guys of what these cards are about, what they can do, and whether or not they're actually worth it. So first up, we have Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, which actually is actually a pretty cool card. So Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon is an 8-star light dragon with 3,000 attack and 0 defense, and its effect reads: if this face-up card is destroyed in a monster zone, you can place it face-up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell instead of sending it to the grave. Which is basically the same as pretty much any other Crystal Beast in the game. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. When an attack is declared involving a Crystal Beast monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish this continuous spell. Special summon a level 4 or lower Crystal Beast from your deck, but negate its effects if any. And if you do, add 1 Ultimate Crystal monster from your deck to your hand. So not only is this, not only does this have a sort of like a Cyber Dragon effect, but it also allows you to. But it also has the effects of pretty much all the Crystal Beasts, but it also allows you to special summon one of your Crystal Beasts, but you get to add Rainbow Dragon as well. So this is sort of like a third or fourth Rainbow Dragon, depending on how many copies of Rainbow Dragon you are running in your deck, which is actually pretty cool. Next up, we actually have Triple D. We actually have heavy Triple D monsters. So I believe that is the one, isn't it? Yeah, I believe so. We have Triple D Vice King Requiem, which is an interesting card. Okay, for some reason... Okay, hang on, guys. There is... Oh, there it goes. There it goes. I actually had to switch it up a bit. I had to switch out the, I had to switch the screen a little bit. But anyway... I apologize, I am not here right now. Triple D Vice King Requiem is, I believe, an 8-star Dark Fiend Pendulum. Let me see if I have that one right. I'm gonna actually click on it on here. Yep, I was right. Okay. with 2800 attack and 2000 defense, and its pen scale is 4. And its pen effect reads: you can target any number of dark contract cards in your you control, destroy them, and if you do, special summon this card from your pen zone. Then you can increase or reduce this card's level by the number of cards destroyed. You can only use this effect once per turn. So with this effect, it allows you to go into, you know, potentially your rank 10 plays if you have any at all, or even also your rank 8 plays, which is pretty cool as well. But you can even also go into your synchro plays just with this card alone, as long as you have a tuner, which in most instances you're pretty much guaranteed to have tuners in your hand or on board anyway, off of like Double D Lamia or Ghosts or whatever, which is really cool. The monster effect reads: you cannot special summon monsters except Triple D monsters. A Triple D monster that was Fusion, Synchro, Exceeds, or Link summoned using this card on the field as material gains the following effect. You can only use the preceding effect once per turn. Once per turn, you can target a card on the field, shuffle one dark contract card from your field or grave into the deck, and if you do, destroy that target. Then gain 1,000 life points. So it's a nice little way to it's a nice way to get more damage on your opponent, which is pretty cool. Which is actually not too bad. Next up, we have Elemental Hero Neo's Kluger, which is a 9-star light spellcaster fusion with 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense, and it requires Neos and Yubel. Yes, Yubel and Neos has become a fusion. Could have been that way when Neos Wise Man was released, but that's not the case. Must be fusion summon before damage count. If this card battles an opponent's monster, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that opponent's monster's attack, which is actually not too bad. If this face-up card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, while its owner controls it, you can special summon Neo's Wise Man from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning condition, and you can only use this effect once per turn. So it's a nice way to deal damage, and if it was sent to the grave, you can summon Neo's Wise Man to your field, which is actually not too bad. Which is actually pretty cool. Now for a brand new card. Let's see if I can find it. Here we are. Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon Overlord, which is a rank 7 Dark Dragon Exceeds Pendulum with 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense, and its pen scale is 4. Its pen effect reads once per turn you can special summon this card from your pen zone, then special summon a Rebellion or Phantom Knight Exceeds monster from your extra deck using this card as material, which is treated as an Exceed summon. Then you can attach one card from your pen zone to it as material. So it's basically its own like, excuse me. It's its own like, I want to say like its own like rank up magic, but it all depends. But it's more of a rank down magic, only because of the fact that all the Phantom Knight Exceeds monsters are basically rank 5 or lower. That's it. So it's sort of like a rank down magic, if you will, which is okay, but it depends on what you want to summon, basically, which is just absolutely weird, but still, it's basically an extender, so to speak, with that effect. The monster effect, as far as its monster effect, it requires 2 level 7 monsters, and it says you can also exceed summon this card by using a Rebellion Exceeds monster control as material. If you can pen summon level 7, you can pen summon this face-up card in your extra deck. You can pen summon this face-up card in your extra deck. This card that was exceed summon using a rank 7 as material can make a second and third attack during each battle phase. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your pen zone. You can only special summon this card once per turn. Okay, so it's again basically it's basically an extender. There's really no way to describe it at all. It's just a nice little it's a nice little interaction where you're able to just combo off and be able to make a board just with that one card alone, and be able to potentially have game onboarded, but it all just depends on how you see it. Next up, we have Decode Talker Heat Soul, and what I find interesting about Heat Soul is that this was actually I believe one of the Link Vrains packs. So this was one that we have been missing for years now. So this is basically Decode Talker on steroids, basically. So its effect reads that it gains 500 attack for each monster it points to, and as a quick effect, you can pay 1,000 life points to draw 1 card, and for life points of 2,000 or less, you can banish this card from your field and special summon a Link 3 or lower Cyberse monster from your extra deck except this card. So it's a nice way to go into Decode Talker really quickly, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have Borrel Dragon. This is another one that we have been missing for a while. So this is another one that we have been missing for quite a while, and this is basically Borrel Sword Dragon on steroids. So obviously it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and now the player can target this card with monster effects as well, and it can basically just wipe out your opponent's board 1 time each. So pretty much it can just basically destroy all the monsters that your opponent may have on board. And what's even more cool about it is that as a quick effect, you can target pretty much any effect monster on the field, and a rocket monster in your grave, negate the effects of the monster on the field, and special summon the rocket monster that was from your graveyard. So it acts as sort of like a monster reborn with this card, which is really cool. Obviously no cards can be activated in response, so it's a nice way to further extend the plays of it's a nice way to extend your plays, especially if you were running if you were running pure rocket, or if you were running Dragon Link. That card can just basically help extend your board a little bit. But let's be real. Dragon Links will never be as meta as they were 2 years ago. Let's just be real on that. Let's be real on that right there. Next up, we have Majesty Hyperion, which is one of the new cards that we got from the Hyperion from the Agent Structure deck that was released only in the OCG, which I'm assuming the Dark World one is probably gonna be in a set like this at some point, but we'll see. This is basically Master Hyperion, but even better, basically. So its effect reads that you can just Cyber Dragon this card from your hand or graveyard by banishing 1 agent monster from your hand, field, or grave. And you can only special summon this card once per turn this way. And of course, all battle damage you take from battles involving your fairy monsters are also inflicted to your opponent. So any damage you take, they take as well, which is absolutely insane. So it's kind of like its own like blazing mirror force of sorts, which is really cool. And then once per turn, you can banish a fairy from your hand or grave and target a card in either graveyard and banish it. So it's like its own like it's its own like call by. But if you have Sanctuary in the Sky, you can actually use it twice. You can actually use that effect twice, which is pretty cool. Which is actually not too bad. But speaking of the agent archetype, we have the Agent of Life Neptune, which has a very interesting effect. So basically, it's basically a hand trap of sorts, where it says that you can discard this card and special summon one of the agents from your hand or grave, except this card, but it can't be attributed until the end of your opponent's turn. And if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in the graveyard, you can special summon a Hyperion monster instead, which is not too bad. And if this card were to be banished, you can actually add Sanctuary in the Sky from your deck to your hand. So it's its own like terraforming, which is really cool. Then of course we've got the Executor of the Underworld, Pluto. I'm actually gonna look. Let's see. Yep, here it is. Which is actually a synchro monster, and it's a tuner. So it's pretty cool to. So this will be really good to help further your plays. So the effect says once per turn, you can banish a monster from your grave, then target one effect monster on the field, change it to face down defense. So it's its own like Book of Moon, which is really cool. And this is a quick effect. If Sanctuary in Sky is on the field or in the grave, you can banish this card from your grave, add a Sanctuary in Sky from deck or grave to the hand. So not only is this a Book of Moon, but it's also a terraforming, which is actually pretty good, pretty cool, I have to say. Master Flare Hyperion. I believe this is the Synchro monster, if I remember right. Yeah. Ooh, sorry guys. I had something got caught in my throat. There we go. Anyway, let's see its effect. You can send one agent monster or a monster that mentions Sanctuary in the Sky from your hand, deck, or extract to the grave. Until the end phase, this card's name becomes the set monster's original name, and replace this effect with that monster's original effects. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you banish the fairy monster from your hand or grave, target a card on the field and banish it. So it's its own like sort of like a bottomless. It's hard to say, but it's kind of like a bottomless of sorts, which is really cool. Then of course we've got the Protector of the Agent's Moon. I believe that is. Where is it? Yeah. It's the Link monster. That's why. That's why it took a while to find it. If this card is Link Summon, you can send. You can send Sanctuary in the Sky or a card that mentions it from your deck to the graveyard, or if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in the graveyard, you can add from your deck or grave to your hand instead. So it can either be a Foolish Burial or a sort of like a Stratos of sorts. So it's pretty cool. And then it's also a board. It's also a sort of like a board wipe where you can just pop cards on the field really easily. Really cool. Now we have the Chorus in the Sky. I believe that is a brand. Hang on, guys. I wanna. Oh, I guess I can't find it on here on Nexus, so I'll have to look it up here. Let's have a look. Let's see. Pay 1,000 life points. Target a fairy in your grave. Add it to your hand. Then if Sanctuary of the Sky is on the field or at either graveyard, you can add one of your banished Sanctuary of the Sky or one of your banished cards that mentions it to your hand. So, okay. Oh, I get it now. So it's sort of like an extender, which is really cool. Not much else to say about that. Sacred Water. Alright, so I believe I might be able to. Okay, well, my laptop is being weird, but anyway, honestly, so far, I mean, it's not too bad, right? I mean, we're finally getting to see a lot of the brand new, you know, agent cards, released, and a bunch of, and also a bunch of, what's his name? I can't think of it. I can't even think of his name. Jim Cook. As well, which is pretty cool. Sacred Waters of the Sky. Activate one Sanctuary in the Sky directly from your deck, or add a monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand. Then if Sanctuary of the Sky is on the field or in the grave, you can gain 500 life points for each Hyperion and agent monster you control. If your monster that mentions Sanctuary will be destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from your grave instead. So it's basically its own like Dragon Lords, which is really cool. That's actually pretty cool. I have to admit, that's pretty cool. It's its own return of the Dragon Lords, which is really cool. And then next up we have Fallen Sanctuary, which I won't be able to look up on Nexus, so I will have to look it up here. So let's see what you can do. Let's see what this card can do. It is a continuous trap, and it reads, when this card is activated, set one Sanctuary in the Sky or spell trap that mentions it directly from your deck. This card's name becomes Sanctuary in the Sky while on the field or in the grave. You can banish a fairy from your grave, and the target effect monster you control, your opponent controls, negates effects until the end of the turn, even if this card leaves the field. Oh, okay, so basically... Oh, okay. So not only is it, again, Sanctuary in the Sky, but it's also a continuous, like, Solemn Judgment, which is... Actually, that's pretty good. I have to admit, it's a nice way to not even use, any of the Psalms, which is not too bad, I must admit. Alright, you guys. Now we move on to some other cards that were that I had talked about last year, and we're gonna kick things off with Flint Krager, and its effect reads: if this card is special summoned, you can discard one card, and if you do, send one Fossil Fusion monster from your extra deck to the grave. You can send this card from the field to the grave and inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Then, if Fossil Fusion is in your grave, you can return to your graveyard one of your banished Fossil Fusion, or a card that mentions that card, or one card that mentions that card. Oh, okay, yeah. So, again, it's another like extender for the Fossil deck, if you will, which is really nice. Then we have Shell Knight, which I don't think I ever talked about. Where is it? Shell Knight. When this card is normal summoned, you can change this card to defense, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. If this card is destroyed by battle or sent to the grave by a card effect, you can add a level 8 rock monster from your deck to your hand. Or if Fossil Fusion is in your grave, you can special summon it instead. For the rest of the turn, you cannot activate cards or effects of cards with the same name as that card. You can only use this effect once per turn. Ooh, again, it's another like extender of sorts, which is really nice. And we also have some Infernities as well, which I don't know why. And the first one up is Infirmity Sage. During your main phase, you can discard your entire hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send one Infernity monster from your deck to the grave. You must have no cards in your hand to activate and resolve this effect. Yeah, during your main phase, first effect, during your main phase, discard your hand. Do I even have to say anything else about it? I don't think I have to. I don't think I have to. But next up we have Infernity Pawn. And it says, during your draw phase, if you have no cards in your hand, instead of conducting your normal draw, you can banish this card from your grave and activate one of these effects. Place one Infernity card from your deck on top of your deck. Set one Void spell or trap directly from your deck. Okay. Again, basically it's another sort of like another extender of sorts, which is really cool. Now we have the fossil machines. We're finally getting those printed, finally. So first up we have Skull Convoy, and it says must first be special summon with fossil fusion. While you control this fusion summon card, all monsters your opponent controls lose attack equal to their original defense. If this card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. When this card destroys the opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. That's actually pretty cool, I have to admit. That's pretty cool. Being able to deal even more damage to your opponent is really, really good. Fossil Machine Skull Wagon. Obviously with Fossil Fusion, and it can make 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. And when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict 800 damage to your opponent. You can banish the card from your grave, target a spell or trap on the field, and destroy it. So it's a nice little MST. It's its own little MST, which is really cool. And then Skull Buggy, Fossil Fusion, obviously. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict 600 damage to your opponent. You can banish the card from your grave, add a monster from your deck to your hand that mentions Fossil Fusion. It can only use this effect once per turn. So basically, Skull Buggy acts as a Stratos of sorts. Skull Wagon acts as a MST, and then Skull Convoy basically can just make multiple attacks during each battle phase, which is really cool. Contract with the Void. I believe this is one of the other ones that I wanted to take a look at. Contract with the Void. If you have 3 or more other cards in your hand, discard your entire hand, then you can spell summon an Infernity monster or level 8 Dark Dragon Synchro from your graveyard. So it's its own So basically the Infernities have their own Monster Reborn, which is really cool. Void Cauldron, I believe, is the next one. Yes. Let's see. Void Cauldron is a continuous trap. If this card is sent to the grave. No, this card is sent to the grave if you have cards in your hand. If an Infernity monster or a level 8 Dark Dragon Synchro you control would be destroyed by battle by your opponent's card effects, you can banish an Infernity card from your grave instead. Holy shit! It's a protection. It's a protection for the archetype itself, which is really cool. That's actually pretty cool. Next up, we have Code Exporter. Let's see. 5-star Wind Cybers. 500 attack, 2300 defense. If a Cybers monster you control would be used as link material for a Code monster, this card in your hand can also be used as material. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the grave as material for a link summon of a Code monster, you can target a level 4 or lower Cybers monster in your grave, add it to your hand, or if this card in the field was used as material, you can special summon that monster instead but negate its effects. Again, basically the card is an extender, which is really cool. Salmon Gray Blaze Dragon. Let's see. Oh, this must have been one of the ones that I had already talked about. I think we were supposed to have gotten this in the TCG, I believe. let's see here. If this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, detach a material from it instead. During the battle phase, if this card has no materials, as a quick effect, you can spell summon from your extra deck a Salmon grade Xyz monster using this face-up card you control as material. You can only use this effect once per turn. Oh, so it's basically sort of like a rank up of swords or rank down, depending on what you want to summon, basically. I've never dealt with Salmon grades before, so I wouldn't really know. Brute Enforcer. You can discard one card that target a face-up card your opponent controls. Your opponent can discard a card with the same original type, monster spell trap, as a face-up card to negate this effect. Otherwise, destroy that face-up card. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, there's really not much else to say about this card. Except that it's a nice way to just force your opponent's hand, if you will. How many more new cards do we have? Oh, we got we got quite a few. We have quite a few, actually. We have Altergeist Failover. Which is basically if another card or cards you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, except during the damage tab, you can spell summon one Altergeist monster from your hand. You can match the card from your grave to target an Altergeist monster in your grave, add it to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So basically, not only can you Cyber Dragon, your Altergeist monsters, but you can also add them from your grave to your hand. So it's its own monster reincarnation of sorts, which is really cool. Trackleback. Yes, that is the name of the card. That is the name of the card. Trackleback is the name. Sorry. You can target a monster you control this card points to. Each time it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, this turn draw one card. Essentially, pot agreed. Pot agreed, essentially. And I think I pretty much talked about everything else over the last several months, so I'm not really gonna completely go over the new cards because a lot of these I had already talked about within the last couple months. So to continue on from there, we have Puppet Queen, Motor Shell, Larage, the God of Archery, On Meraki, Dark Alligator, Reptia Egg, Perform Pal Misdirector, Primal Dragon, the Primordial, Samsara Dragon, Cocatorium, the Heavy Metal Avian, Chaos Grapher, Proxy Horse, Outburst Dragon, Victoria, Angel of Bravery, Rookie Warrior Lady, Time Thief, Temper Wall, Chronicle Magician, and then for the two that I have mentioned are potentially the last two that were missing from the set. We have Cyber Dragon and the Winged Dragon Raw Sphere mode, and then for the rest of the reprints we got Mystical Shine Ball, Master Hyperion. We got the agents. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. Yes, we are mature here. Vision Hero, Minimum Ray, Multiply Guy, Increase, Poisoner, Ferris, Vion, and Gravito. We've got Insector. We have Insector, Gigamantis, Ghost Trick Lantern, Ghost Trick Spectre, Jiangxi, Stein, Mary, Mummy, Vampire Sorcerer, Shadow Vampire, Vampire Grace, Vampire Duke, Double D Swirl Slime, Necro Slime, Savant Copernicus, Lamia, Savant Thomas, Triple D Destiny King, Zero Laplas, Go Triple D Divine Zero King Rage. Finally, we're getting these printed, which apparently it says that it's a reprint, but really they're new. They're still new, technically. Code Radiator, Code Generator. We got the Tinny Spirits. We got Adhara, Shathana, Mapura, Nahada, Vishuddha, and Ashuna. Mardell, Generator Boss, Gene Raider Boss of Light, Hela, Gene Rare Boss of Doom, Whitebeard, the Plunder Patrol Helm, Redbeard, Bluebeard, and Golden, and also Golden Hair, the newest Plunder Patrol, Despian Comedy, Despian Tragedy, Alibur, the Jester of Despia, finally as a, it was originally a Seeker Rare, but we're finally getting this printed as an Ultra Rare, and I believe it was going for like well over 1,000, like almost like several $100 just from that card alone, which is pretty crazy. Dramaturge of Despia, Manju the 10,000 Hands, Alien Ammonite, Malefic Cyber End Dragon, Double Warrior, Mecha Fan Beast, Cold Wing, Box of Friends, Galaxy Soldier, finally getting that reprinted, Rise of the Mega Monarch, which is kind of an interesting card, Despot 1, Retaliating Sea, Cypher Twin Raptor, Wandering King Wildwind, that was in Duelist Saga, if I remember right, that was Duelist Saga. That's an interesting one. Dotscaper, Tatsunecro, Doom King Balderog, Necro World Banshee, Glow Up Bloom, Reptilian Lamia, Mathematic Addition, Rare Fish, Mystical Sand, Great Mammoth the Goldfine, Rose Spectre of Dun, and Sandwich. These fusions are basically targets for Instant Fusion and Ready Fusion as well, which is really cool. We've got the Chimera Text, we got Fortress Dragon, and Rampage Dragon, which is really cool. Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. We also have Mega Fleet Dragon as well, which is pretty cool. Quintet Magician, Plunder Patrol Ship Lice, I believe it's Lice. False Warrior Skull Knight, Boxia Brightness of the Yang Zing, Yazi Evil of the Yang Zing, Nirvana High Paladin, Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon, Geomathematic Final Sigma, Plunder Patrol Ship Brawn, Cupid Pitch, Princess Cologne, Crimson Knight Vampire Bram, Ghost Drake Dullahan, Ghost Drake Succubus, Sky Cavalry Centauria, Triple D Duo Don King Kali Yuga, which is an excellent negation on board, absolutely incredible. We've got number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy, number 60, Dugaris the Timeless, number 97, Draglubion, Prime Mathematic Laplacian, Jormungandr, Gene Raider Boss of Eternity, Plunder Patrol Ship Morg, Crystal Halka Fibrax, quite the interesting reprint given the fact that we just got this reprinted in the last couple of OTS sets, if I remember right. So it's kind of an interesting one to say the very least. Let's see, Vampire Sucker, Sanctuary in the Sky, Flute of Summoning Karibo, Advanced Ritual R, Zombie World, Reptilian Spawn, Inzector Sword, Zack Caliber, Vampire Kingdom, Yangzing Prana, Dark Contract with the Gate, Dark Contract with the Swamp King, Domain of the True Monarchs, Sanctum of Parshath, Gene Rare Boss Stage, Plunder Patrol Shipyard, Heavenly Dragon Circle, Fossil Fusion, Despia the Theater of the Branded, Vampire Takeover, Yangzing Brutality, Pendulum Area, 9 Pillars of the Yangzing, Vampire Domain, Cynet Conflict, and of course Fire Fist, and of course Fist of the Unrivaled Tenny. And then for the Ghost Rares, we got Blue Eyes White Dragon, Red Eyes Black Dragon, Dark Magician Girl, Cyber Dragon is one of the other Ghost Rares, Dark Arm Dragon, Raw Sphere Mode, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, and the Eye at Tamais. I believe that is the full set list. Which honestly, my thoughts on it, I think it's incredible. This is probably one of the best side sets we've had in quite a while. So do I recommend this set? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you guys want to get your hands on this set, I say go for it. But I would just buy the mini boxes, just buy a couple of mini boxes and just call it a day. Because while it is true that some people have had, because while it is true that there have been a lot of problems with the last Ghost from the past set, rumor has it that it's easy that with the amount of Ghost Rares that we have now, supposedly it's easier to pull a Ghost Rare from a whole display box or potentially a mini box as well, which is pretty cool, but my thoughts on it, it's pretty cool. If you guys want to go for the box, for a whole display box, go for it. That's your deal. I would just get the singles for this one. But that brings me to the question of the day. What are your guys' thoughts on this set? Ghost from the Past, the second haunting, and what cards do you think should have been printed in this set? Let me know down in the comments below. And that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more set list reveals in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And as always, make sure you guys check me out on Twitter and Instagram. The links will be in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you guys want to send me and you guys want me to open it up on the channel, all the info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.